Because you deciding that you don't believe in God, that you don't believe in his one and only Son, Jesus Christ, does not mean that he doesn't exist. It doesn't stop him from existing. It doesn't change the fact that he is God. It does not change the fact that he has all this authority. It does not change the fact that he is still the author and the finisher of my faith. So it does not matter what you believe. When you decide to negate the existence of God by your futile thinking, you decide to conclude that because I believe that God doesn't exist, he doesn't exist. And it doesn't work that way. Because even though you may construe that God is a figment of my imagination, you have to understand that he is not limited by your thoughts or your beliefs. He's all-powerful, all-knowing, all-present. And there's nothing that you or your belief can do about it. But here I am in this dream, and someone is trying to convince me that God is not real, that hell is not real, that consequences that the Bible tells us we will face for sins are not real. What do you say to that? How did you come into being? The book of Genesis, chapters 1 and 2, literally gives details about how God took his time and created us. And for those of us who don't believe in the creation story, I need you to explain to me about the remote, the television remote. Because here it is, you could sit down and press a television remote and change it to any channel, or watch anything you want, or type in anything you want, or go to YouTube, or go to Facebook on your TV. But we want to say we believe in evolution. Do you believe that you evolved? That you just came here out of somewhere? And that God isn't real? That wires started spinning around, that blood vessels and cells and other little things that cause the human being to come together, that the hair and stuff started just spinning around, and all of a sudden you were created? Because if that's the case, then I don't need to buy a TV. And I don't need to buy the remote. I can just sit down and wait until the wires and the plastic and stuff start spinning and they come into existence. God is entirely real. But I'll tell you something about the intelligent design. Intelligent design requires a creator. Intelligent design requires someone who has more authority than what is created. Romans chapter 1 verse 20 says, "For the invisible things of him from the creation of the world are clearly seen, being understood by the things that are made, so that they are without excuse." God's creation points unmistakably to his intelligence and divine power. Psalm 19 verse 1 says, "The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his power." And so the universe testifies to intentional design.